Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been about a year since I made the last video, so this is a huge update. So basically, I made a lot of money, but I realized I have an issue. I go on winner's tilt, so I have a winning tilt problem, and basically I lost it all, and I'm broke again. So that's not good progress, obviously, and so we have to take some action steps to fix our problem. And so it is December 31st, 2024, and we're going to start taking some steps to fix our mistakes, and I'll be documenting it in these episodes. So let me tell you more about my situation. I basically live 4 hours away from the casino. My car's not working, so we can't really go to the casino. Our only choice is to play online poker. We actually just applied for jobs, and I started another service-based business in an attempt to make some money. But I'm basically trying everything. I'm kind of in a desperate spot. So we did apply for jobs. And yeah, we're going to be studying poker because we have nothing else to do with our time. We've been poker players. The best thing for us to do is to be productive with our time by making money, getting a job, which is making money, and while we're not working our job, trying to make some more money. So I think this will be a good community to work together, and you guys can see how I'm doing. And when I'm rich, it'll be fun to look back at this video. But yeah, our goal is, again, to make as much income as possible and invest it smartly. Less of a priority of moving up in stakes and more being consistent with our income. So with that being said, I will hop into the study and I'll show you guys what that looks like. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that I made. It's basically giving me a blueprint of exactly what I'll be doing. Because basically I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything on a daily basis. So I'm using this as a rubric. We can probably add some KPIs. But basically, this is telling me, okay, we're gonna be playing PLO 50 through 100 potentially when we're feeling good. We should stick to 2 to 4 tables, since that's what I see other players, other high stakes pros playing online. My goal is only to make $20 a day because we are looking for work and we're stressed out. We just don't want to. We want to start small, build the habit small, and then work our way up. It still adds up. 7,200 a year. I can use 7,200. Right? We want to pay off our credit cards, then invest in crypto, and then move up in stakes. And this is just a reminder for when I'm employed and hating life that being unemployed and not making money really sucks. So I just want to get out of my situation, and we can compound our wealth once we make money. Okay, so the first thing that I want to work on in my game, first of all, we're playing PLO because we're degenerates. So we're back to PLO. But anyways, we're going to look at the small blind opens and small blind limps, as well as big blind defend versus limp and versus small blind open. I feel pretty weak in my game, and sometimes the tables are short, so we face that situation a lot. And then post flop, we want to look at single raise pots out of position. So what do we do out of position? What are some of the thresholds we want to look at? I feel pretty weak. I've never actually explored that since I've always focused on in position strategy, and I play fine in position. So we'll be looking at the 5 board textures: dry, wet, paired, straightening, and monotone. And that's how we'll structure our study for the first episode. I think we'll make a lot of progress this way. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next clip. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you exactly what I'm doing in case you're on the same journey as I am. So this is Monker Solver. I already ran a bunch of sims just throughout the year. I got it at the beginning of the year. But yeah, we're going to be looking first at small blind opens. So we'll filter it to the small blind. Then we're going to be bucketing all the pre-flop hand classes into a bunch of categories. I don't remember how many. It's about like 10 or 12. Aces, we'll look at aces, for example. I'll show you real fast. I already sorted it by EV. Rainbow aces are raising, but we can start to limp some of the rainbow aces. Mix in some single suited stuff, some super strong double suited stuff with lots of playability, it looks like. The Jack 10 or the wheel cards. Unblocking their raises, or just having lots of playability. So we're going to go through each hand class. 80% raise. And I'll find a way to organize this better, but then we'll be looking at kings, queens, jacks, then like rundowns, one gappers, etc. Alright guys, checking in before it gets overwhelming. We kind of categorize all the hands that are easy to memorize. You can pause the video and check out those categories. However, we got up to pocket tens, and we're going to take a break because it's kind of getting overwhelming, and I think I'm already kind of excited to implement this. Like, the good thing about studying like this is that in your next session you have something to focus on besides results. So I think I'm about to put in a session and just focus on implementing these things. I took notes here on what the actual strategy is that I'm going to implement. And yeah, it's a small part of the game tree, so we'll see how the session goes. We're going to play a short session, and obviously we have some work to do still. And this is only the first part. Again, we want to work on these things as well. So it's only 10 a.m., so we have plenty of time, and I'll see you guys in the next clip. Alright guys, I just wanted to check back in. I ended up playing. We did okay. Still feel stressed at the table. So we played a very short session. But I wanted to deep dive some bonus content. So dry board textures. I chose these two board textures because I really just never looked it up, but I wanted to run the sim. So we ran it, obviously. And I so far broke down the king 9 deuce hand. So surprisingly, there's leads in the big blind. Check it out. The big blind leads like 30% of the time. So it's like, what hands lead? And this is how you break it down. Obviously, you break down the range into starting with the strongest hands. Kings, nines, deuces, the sets. Then, so top set, bottom set mix, and then nines are pure check. That's my simplification. You can see kings, it's technically mixing. Deuces is also mixing, right? And that's what I have written down. Phew. And then nines are mostly checked, so I have pure check nines, even though there's 20% bet. Right, king 9. I looked up king 9. It's a mix. Mix just means I'm simplifying to 50-50, so I'll have an RNG up, and we'll simplify it 50-50. Right, and this is the breakdown. So I broke it down into just the categories that I would play and can easily memorize, like the gut shots, the inside wraps, top pair, ace king, aces, things like that. So for all the board textures, I'm not getting what do I do with ace, jack, 5 deuce? That's like irrelevant to me because the board is king 9 deuce. Do we have a set, 2 pairs, inside wrap? Let's just figure out what we do with those hands, and then the other hands we can check. I'm already learning a bunch of new stuff today. And like, remember how you talk about getting better 1% every single day? You'll just exponentially get better. This is like, I already feel so much better. So I want to look at king 5 deuce because it's a little bit different than king 9 deuce. King 9 deuce is the inside wrap that I really stress out about. So I'm not sure. This is just the big blind lead strategy. I haven't even looked at the button strategy, which is where I was more curious about. But I just saw that the big one has leads. I never even knew that. We're going to look at the king 5 deuce strategy as well because there's the inside wrap cards. Or the wheel cards, and also when there's a straightening turn card like a 6 or a 4. I sometimes overbluff this. I don't even know what the in position strategy is, so I probably overbluff and all that. let's figure it out. I want to deep dive the ace queen deuce monotone board. It's different than a normal monotone board. I've studied monotone boards, but ace queen deuce is high card heavy. So let's see what happens when there's high cards. And then yeah, going back to the first page, we still have this to work on today. So let's do it. It's only 11 o'clock. It feels like a long time. Studying slows down time. All right, guys, it's the next day. I have my kids, so we'll be hanging out. But I just want to check back in and show you guys that I filled out some of the information. So it does feel. Yesterday it felt fine because I put in some volume and I was focused on like one at a time. But now it feels pretty overwhelming. So as you can see, I color coded everything, and that's actually helping me look at it easier. So right, these are the categories. This is the raise strategy. This is the limp strategy. I added some more categories to help me memorize it. And then here's the leading strategy. Here's the in position strategy. And here's versus a bet. What does big blind do versus a bet? Interestingly enough, we never raise on a dry board texture. At least that's what the solver says, which is fine. And on a straightening card, like a queen, which is the exact card I looked up, we dunk 50% of our range, 33%. I'm not doing any of these things, but it's crazy. We'll see what happens when we start implementing it. And so on monotone boards, I usually play check strategy and single raise pots. Just check full range, flop, and just play after the turn. But we have some leads on the ace queen board. I mean, it says it's leading 33%, 50% of the range, which is crazy. In position's only betting 20%, and that's where we need the king, either the nut flush, which is the king high flush, or the king of hearts blocker, or the jack high flush, or the jack hearts blocker. Only 30%. Still some stuff to learn. Obviously, we need the wet board textures, the paired board textures, everything on this side. I also added some more stuff for episode 4 that I'm really curious about. This episode 4, I want to focus on wet board textures and also paired boards. But more specifically, what happens when turn brings in a flush. So wet paired boards, flush comes in. What do we do with trips? I have trouble. What do we do with draws? What do we do with top set? What do we do with top full house? It's confusing me. I haven't actually looked at those. So we're going to be learning a lot. I've already learned a lot. Guys, thank you for sticking with me throughout this entire video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys are enjoying the journey. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.